And a good day, everyone. Welcome to Polymac Particles Tuesday morning installment, 11 a.m. sharp. Creative Tony with his snazzy-looking Will Clark hat on. I'm very jealous and envious all at the same time. I got a combination of pent-up feelings when I look at that Will Clark hat because I'm a Will Clark head, as we all are. If you're a Giants fan, you're a Will Clark head by association. Anyway, cheers. Let me take a nice hot sip of this Java. Yeah, get this whole day started. Okay, so first of all, had a great show yesterday. I got to tell you, Tony, first of all, good morning, my man. How you doing today, Tony? I dig your hat. I don't know what that shirt is, but you're looking good. How you feeling today, bro?
The hat is good. It is a Will Clark hat. I think it was a giveaway at one of the games. And then also my shirt, Savannah Jazz, was the Jazz Club right there.
Yeah.
That was the Jazz Club right here in San Carlos. I was around for a few years, and then COVID just munched it. But, dude, Pascal Bocar was the owner of that place. He's a jazz teacher at University of San Francisco. He used to play with Dizzy Gillespie. Ooh. Dude, it was a great tiny little room we had here in town that I used to frequent all the freaking time, and it's gone, and I miss it dearly. So shout out Savannah Jazz.
Hey, I'm glad you went through that. Also, Don Peralta checking in. Don Peralta, like one of our guardian angels here on the show, does so much great work behind the scenes for us. And then we bring it to the show. You see his artwork. He's awesome, Dom. Thank you. But also, Dom checking in with some relevant info. He goes, that was the Will Clark Retirement Day hat.
Yep. I can show this too, Paulie, that you can see the bill of the hat.
Yeah, the eye black. Look at that. That's a ball player right there. Look at those eyes, dude. Watching Greg Maddux hitting bombs. Will Clark forever, dude. Will Clark for life. And by the way, Will Clark behind the scenes, just talking to him is like a man-to-man kind of thing. He's a great guy. He's as old school as it gets. He's as old school as it gets. He's about hitting, and he ain't about analytics. And anyway, I love Will Clark. Anyway, Tony, go ahead, bro.
One thing I want to address, Noemi already asked about where's the robes. Noemi, the robes are coming. I wanted to kind of get the robe right before Brian comes on from Finnerty. So yes, the robe, at least my robe will be coming. Paulie, I'll have to,
I got my own robe concerns. Yeah, no, that's a good call, Noemi. Thank you for keeping tabs on that robe. We do forget sometimes. I got to be honest. There's so much going on every day. We have been busier than heck with this show, and so much happening for tonight. To set the table, Warriors Memphis playing at Chase Center. Jesus, I'm already a nervous wreck. Giants just dropping the effing hammer everywhere they go. They're just kicking the crap out of everybody they face. They popped for 6 runs in the second inning yesterday. Another great road win for the Giants. Verlander on the hill today. So that's happening. And then
I want to get deeper into that game tomorrow. We'll get deeper into both, Paulie. But yes, lots going on in the Bay. Lots.
No, we're going to get into everything today, Tony. We're going to get, and of course, Brian Stapleton from Finnerty. He will join us today. We worked everything out. He's good to go. We'll have him at 11.
We can work it out. So, Paulie, about that Giants game, dude, they were down 3-0 in the first, right? And tell me this last year, if you turn on a Giants game.
Oh, they're maybe scoring 1 run to 2 tops. That's it. Exactly. That's a loss.
That's the difference in this year's team. And you know what? Yesterday, Dommy, we put
Dommy. Hey, Dommy. Hey, now, yeah. Oh, hey.
That's what I call my son. Paulie, is that we asked for.
Now I got riffs. Sorry, I got to jump in because you remember in the movie The Exorcist when you had that young priest and he was trying to drive that satanic spirit out of the little girl. And then when the little girl would start speaking to the priest, I think his name was Father Karras. Anyway, he starts talking to Father Karras, the little girl, but she's using the like his mom's voice, and she goes, "Why you do this to me, Damie?" Because his name is Damien. She goes, "Why you do this to me, Damie?" So when you say Dommy, I think Damie, I think Exorcist, I think rituals. Anyway, sorry, Tony. A little moment for Satan appreciation right there. Go ahead.
Satan appreciation. Actually, it's funny that you're already throwing Satan particles into the mix because I have something to show later on in the show. I want to show you something that has to do with Dom, has to do with Satan, and has to do with San Francisco baseball. But we'll get to that.
Why you do this to me, Damie? Why you do this?
Well, how about your mother? Your mother bleeps blanks and bleeps in hell, right?
Your mother blanks and blank. Yeah.
Your mother blanks in hell.
Blank and blanks in hell is no way to spend an afternoon. I'll tell you that, or an eternity. Blank and blanks in hell is about the worst kind of recipe for sadness and misery. But then again, I guess that's what hell is all about. Tony, go ahead. Good morning.
Neck spins all the way around. It's
sure. Spinning neck. We're puking green. We're doing it all. We're doing it all in the Exorcist.
If you wanted to make money in the 70s and 80s, just get behind Satan, get behind the devil, get evil, and you're going to make money.
You got Shout at the Devil by Motley Crue. You got Running with the Devil by by Van Halen. You got AC/DC, Hell's Bells, all kind of satanic. Dude, Satan was a big part of the 80s, by the way. Satan.
That's what I'm talking about. Yes, if you wanted to make money, if you wanted to make dough, and dude, shout out the scariest movie, one of the scariest movies I've ever seen, the Amityville Horror, dude. The original Amityville Horror.
True story, by the way. True story.
Right. Yeah. That's what scared the shit out of me about it. And The Exorcist is based on stuff. So, by the way, Stinking Badges. What's up? We don't need no Stinking Badges. Let's go.
Mayhouse Jazz in Palo Alto. I do sound there. Nice. Dude, Stinking Badges, bro. This guy's one of us. I'm telling you. He is. And by the way, good morning, Winks. Good morning, Dom, John Joseph, Rag, Scott D, Patty from Napa, Sanchi, all y'all. Shout out Jimmy Page. Dude, you ain't kidding about that. Living in Jimmy Page has always been dabbling with the black arts. There's no question. He likes to dabble. All right, Tony, we'll get back to Satan a little bit later in the show. I got to talk about
Stinking Badges. Thanks for the super, dude. And it was great to see Stinking Badges at the Guild on Friday night. I saw him at the Mustache Harbor show. Great to see you, Stinking Badges. We will keep in touch, brother. Hey, Paulie, proceed.
Yeah, well, no, I was just going to say, it might be time to give some love to our main man, Carlos de la Fuente over at Flex Funding. He's one of our sponsors. We love this guy. And let me start the thing by today. And by the way, Tony, we're going to update the bottom messaging. We'll do that very soon. We'll have that ready for Thursday. But Carlos, you see his contact info. And if you're listening on Spotify, allow me to relay this to you. 925-250-4894. That's Carlos's phone number. Give him a shout. Any questions about cash, any questions about loans, whether they're HELOC loans or anything else, reverse mortgages, stuff like that. In fact, Carlos is such a great guy handling money matters in the Bay Area. He's been doing it for 26 years. He actually helped Renelle Brooks Moon's mom with a reverse mortgage. We talked about that last week when Renelle came on. So he's really part of the family. And what I like about, one of the things I like about Carlos, look at this. Here comes Lionel Reyes on the text line and going, Carlos is great to work with. Smiley face. You're damn right. You know what? Let me see if I can punctuate that, Tony, with my new soundboard. I'm still getting to know how to learn this thing, but let's see. Yeah, there we go. That's for you.
Here, I'll give you some of that. Paulie. Here, stand by. Yep. I know what you're trying to do, buddy.
Yeah.
All right.
Actually, maybe it'll be more effective if I do it like this, Tony. Attention, all mortgage interested parties, please report to Carlos de la Fuente's office immediately with all relevant spending questions, loan questions. That's like my principal office.
No, you know what that is? That's like you're coming on the PA or like the loudspeaker.
Totally. At the Warrior game or something like that.
Or at the Warrior game or at Target or like a big supermarket,
Yes, Tony, check it out. This will be tonight. Hold on. This is tonight at Chase Center. Watch this. Ladies and gentlemen, the halftime show will begin in just a moment. The Warrior girls are about to perform. But in the meantime, a couple of words about Carlos de la Fuente at Flex Funding. Boy, it sounds more important that way, doesn't it, over the loudspeaker?
Really
anyway, Carlos, we're having fun with our new soundboards. Hope you dig that. Carlos also, Tony, is licensed in California. That's kind of a bigger deal than it might sound on paper because we like to play this game. It doesn't matter where you are in the beautiful Golden State. God damn, I love California, by the way. I love the coastline. I love the mountains. I love the cities. I love this whole state. I'm so glad we're here. I got to tell you, whether you're in Santa Barbara or Santa Cruz, okay, Tony, whether you're in, Healdsburg or Calistoga, that's the point. Anywhere in the state, Carlos can assist you with any money matter.
If you're in Redding or Rancho Cucamonga.
That's what I'm saying. Shout out Phil Lesh, Pride of Cucamonga, Tony. Great track on Mars Hotel.
Also, Paulie, Los D checking in himself, and he says, Morning PMP Army. Question, would you want me working on your mortgage in a suit, or is a robe acceptable?
From this day forward, Carlos de la Fuente will serve you to your needs and specifications, whether it's a robe or your standard business attire. Thank you. Okay, anyway, that's another special announcement for Carlos.
Principal Paulie.
Well, Carlos de la Fuente, please report to the Polymac Particle front office immediately. Thank you. And bring a hall pass, God's sakes. All right, Tony. Anyway, I know it's fun. Anyway, Carlos is a great guy. You met him at the watch party a couple of weeks ago, and he's just a rock solid dude, man. He's very easy to talk to. And what I was trying to say earlier, Tony, about working with Renelle's mom is that it's just more evidence like Carlos is a guy who cares. Like, he cares about his clients. He cares about the Bay Area. He cares about the status and your condition. So if you do need cash, you do need a loan, you're interested in HELOC mortgage, just remember, and that's a home equity line of credit, by the way. Sorry. And also, Carlos will not whack you with any hidden fees. He's very fast when it comes to closing a deal, usually within 8 days. And reverse mortgage information at the bottom of the screen right now. Tony, final words on Carlos if you want. And I can affect the loudspeaker if you need it, but go ahead.
Sure. Principal Paulie, stand by. I just want to say the proof's in the pudding. We talked about Renelle Brooks Moon's mom. We talked about my friend Mel working with Los D, Don Peralta working with Los D. So people in the PMP army are reaching out. And then I would appreciate those people and others, as it's all word of mouth, right? Not just this show, but word of mouth. If you have a conversation, if you have an experience with Los, pass it on. It's all about passing it on, paying it forward. And Los, again, Paulie, it's just the word trust, buddy.
What?
Trust.
And you're talking about passing it on. The second Phil Lesh reference in the same commercial for Carlos today. Like Phil says in Box of Rain, believe it if you need it. If you don't, just pass it on. So
exactly. But before we get moving, Paulie, it's like pass the duchy, right? Pass the duchy
on the left-hand side.
Yeah, pass Los on the left-hand side. Pay it forward upon the left-hand side. By the way, it's pass the duchy pawn the left-hand side.
Let me try it out real quick for the first time ever. We're going to try an impromptu song parody, song tribute for Carlos. It'll go, pass the Carlos on the left-hand side. Something like that. A little reggae vibe. You know what I mean?
Pass this generation.
Carlos
rules the nation. Remember that?
Of course, dude. Of course. I always thought Jerry Garcia Band should have covered Unconditional Love, their other single. Give me your unconditional love. Not a bad track. I'm telling you, not a bad track. Anyway, Carlos, thank you for being a partner with us. We love you very much, and you're doing great work out there. So anybody who's in need of any kind of financial guidance, steering, loans, this is the guy you can want to talk to, Carlos, and you can trust him. Very handsome gentleman. We've likened him to Vin Diesel. I see Ari Gold in there a little bit as well from Entourage. But we'll give you another word on Carlos at the end of the show. Now, Tony, in front of us today, we have a lot to dig into. I like kind of sometimes, Tony, when you make the decision. So should we start with Warriors Memphis, because I got a lot to say about that, or do you want to talk about Giants Philly first? I'll let you tell me.
I also want to get into a top three before Brian comes in. So if we hit both of those quickly and then go into a top three, we can revisit both as well, Paulie. Yes, I got. I'm nervous about tonight, man. Well, go ahead. Start with Dubs. Start with Dubs.
All right, so here they are. Losing 2 of their final 3 in the regular season has put them in this play-in position. I'm very nervous about this. Obviously, we all know the history of the Warriors in these play-in situations. It's not good. It's not good at all. They're 0-3 in play-in games to this day. I don't even like the play-in tournament at all. I like the older format better. Like, if you make the playoffs, you make the playoffs. Cut this dog and pony nonsense. But, I mean, this is the lifeline for the Warriors. They got to jump through these hoops if they're going to advance. Now, I think we got some.
I apologize. We have a super that we did not get to during Los, and I got to put it up there. Steve Bisecchio. My line when I exit a bathroom is, I need an old priest and a young priest. Feel free to use that one. Heading to Longbridge and Dubs tonight. Nice, dude.
That a boy, Stevie B. That a man. Enjoy yourself down there tonight. And thank you for checking in and contributing today, Steve. I appreciate that.
And Tony, and Steve, might I recommend a smash stack burger or the Polymac pizza. So
yeah, it's not a bad pie at all. I'm telling you, man. But Neil brought those out on opening day, and we all delved into them. Now, Tony, I want to ask you
back to the plan. Go ahead.
A couple of questions. First of all, I want to know who you think the key is tonight for the Golden State Warriors. I think Jimmy Butler is going to be. This is why he's here. We want playoff Jimmy. Let's give me that playoff Jimmy tonight. And by the way, Butler played his ass off on Sunday against the Clippers. It's not like he didn't perform. He played his ass off. Clippers are a good team. It was just a nip and tuck game the whole time. So who's your key to tonight? And then, Tony, we got to talk about this Kuminga situation, because this is not good, man.
Yeah, you're going to tease the top 3. So let's tease Kuminga for top 3. But Paulie, in a weird way, of course, this is, hey, Butler, you wanted it, you got it. Let's go. This is the stage. This is it. This is why you're here. This is your time to shine. And he has been shining, dude. He dropped what? He dropped 30 the other night. So and Pajemski's been playing well. You know what it is, Paulie? And
talk to me.
He's not getting paid like these other guys, so like the expectations shouldn't be as high as like Curry or a Butler or even a Draymond.
Yep.
Moody. We can't have just 4 points from Moses Moody tonight. If he's in the starting lineup, and I love Moody, dude. And the record with him when he starts is absurd. It's like I don't know, it's like 25-5 or something like that. But
yeah, it's very good. I do want to contribute, though, in Moody's defense. Now, you're right. He didn't offensively do a lot Sunday, but, defensively, he had a great game. I think he had a couple of block shots in the first half, couple steals. Like, he was a pest. Like, Moody, his fingerprints were on that game, maybe not in the scoring column, but he did have an impact in the game. And I like Moody, too. You were on the Moody thing months ago. Credit to you. You saw it. And you're right. The success is there. When he's in the starting lineup, they generally win. Yeah.
Dude, I couldn't be a bigger Moody fan, but I need him to rise up. If he wants to stay in the starting five and show that he's worthy, he needs to rise up tonight.
Rise up, Bruce Springsteen, City of Ruins. Come on, rise up, Tony. Great track. Here's the thing.
That might be my all-time favorite Bruce Springsteen song. Honestly.
Yeah, it's almost like a gospel song. Come on, rise up. Come on, rise.
And the way that song just slowly builds to that crescendo of the rise up. It's a slow, steady build, man. That's what I love about Bruce, man. Is if you're patient with Bruce, the payoff will always be there.
Dude, always. Bruce Springsteen getting so poetic in that song, going, young men on the streets scattered like leaves. My brother's down on his knees. God damn, boss. Boss rips me into shreds. He just tears me up, dude, when I listen to Springsteen. Tears me up, and I keep coming back for more. All right, anyway, Tony, I want to talk about Kuminga. This is
okay. Well, let's get to the top three in a second. Let's go Giants real quick. Okay.
Me up from Kuminga. Okay, I'm going to stop talking about Kuminga. You got something planned, I guess.
You know what, Paulie? Let's just go right into the top three. Why not just go right into the top three? Sure. What are we doing? What are we doing?
Tony's top three.
Yes, sir.
Tony's top three.
Woo!
Tony's top three.
And I'll feed the ducks. I'll get the ducks going right now because we like feeding the ducks.
A couple of things I want to address on the comments line. Stinking Badges, the name of that song is My City of Ruins. It's the last track on The Rising. It's a really beautiful song. Kind of reminds me of the band. Sounds like a band song to me, like Robbie Robertson kind of thing. And then also, I saw Triple E. What's up, Triple E? Good to see you, brother. Patty's at Super, so let's do Patty real quick, and then we're going to get into your...
I didn't realize Patty is an Eagles gangster, dude. Like, she's front row, second row. I mean, dude, I want to remember the movie Freaky Friday where you could switch positions in the movie.
Shout out Jamie Lee Curtis. Anything with Jamie Lee Curtis, I'm automatically interested. Tony, go ahead.
Okay. Well, then you need to watch The Bear. If you're like Jamie Lee Curtis, then watch The Bear. Okay, that's all I got to say about that. She's the bear. She's not the bear. The Bear is the name of the restaurant. She is in The Bear. She's Jeremy Allen White's mom.
Nice. Okay, good. I'm in. I'm getting more and more interested. Tony, thank you, Patty, by the way. And you're right. She is an Eagles gangster of love. That was for you, Patty. You get it? All right. Nice. Tony, I'm going to let you steer this bad boy. Give me through your top three, and then we got Brian Stapleton from Finnerty's coming on. It is a Roby Tuesday. I haven't robed up yet. Tony's going to robe up in a minute, but give me your top three, buddy.
I'm going to robe up in a second, Paulie, but yeah, my top three is number one, you were hitting on to before. Do you think, well, it's a two-parter. Do you think Kuminga is another DNP tonight? And same with Guy Santos. Are they both DNPs tonight? Because I like both players and the contributions they've made. Especially Guy, dude. Say it to me, Santos. He needs to... that guy plays with such incredible passion and energy that like when he comes on for his whatever 10, 15 minutes, 12 minutes a game, he just injects a certain passion and energy on the floor, kind of like a Draymond off the bench. So I don't know. I'm concerned about the DNPs tonight. Are you?
Yes, I am concerned about it, Tony, and I agree with you. First of all, Guy Santos, you said everything beautifully. He's always a shot of energy when he's on the floor, hustling for loose balls, making plays. I've liked Santos all year long. So yes, that's one. And then number two, the Kuminga thing is, I think this is kind of reaching a boiling point at the worst possible effing time. I mean,
right.
This is a guy who I think, in a basketball sense, you would have wanted his athleticism on the floor on Sunday to kind of slow down Kawhi a little bit. Kawhi was bullying our guys, dude. He was bum rushing these dudes in the paint and stuff, creating space for himself. And I'm not saying Kuminga would have totally shut him down. He wouldn't have. Kawhi Leonard's going right to the Hall of Fame. He's one of the best players of all time. You can't stop him. But you could maybe slow him down and muck it up a little bit with Kuminga. But for whatever the reasons are, whatever's going on behind the scenes, and what I'm hearing is that it's a problem with Kuminga's people and the Warriors front office. Whether or not that's true, I don't know. I think Kuminga might be looking for something like
You mean his people? What does that mean? Like
his agent and his manager, stuff like that. Because I think as they approach. Well, I'm just telling you what I'm hearing. I don't know. Again, take this with a grain of salt. But
I know, but usually where there's smoke, there's fire, P, and that bums me out. And who knows what is true and what's not. But like, dude, again, we talked about this, how these guys have 6 fouls each to burn, right? So if you can get Kuminga in there playing aggressive D and spelling Butler and using those fouls the same way we want Quentin Post to use those fouls and play aggressive and send a message about coming into the paint. I don't know, man. It's just, and we're both like, we constantly talk about vibes on this show, and we you know, that's why Long Ridge Pizza, laid back vibe, serious pizza, that kind of thing.
Golden vibe. You got your golden vibe. Yeah.
Golden vibe sticker from Dom, and Los D's whole entire vibe is infectious. But like, we're all about vibes. I don't like the Dubs vibe right now, and I'm trying to find ways to like it. And so I'm trying to focus my energy on Curry and on Butler and on Draymond and on Podziemski. But like, dude, when you have this, like, I don't know, this like dark cloud hovering in the corner, I don't know. It's really bizarre, man. I don't know. I don't know what to make of it, because Kerr continues to be like, oh, well, he's working his tail off. He's working his tail off. And Steph Curry was even like yesterday was like, yeah, he just has to be prepared for when his moment comes. But dude, his moment, it doesn't seem like his moment's coming anytime soon.
I don't know, man. I don't know where this is all going, but you're right. The timing of this couldn't be any worse. I don't think it's affecting the locker room. I don't see that it's like rearing itself on the floor, because this is a veteran team with Hall of Fame. There's 3 Hall of Fame guys on this roster. You got Butler, Draymond, and Steph. They're all going right to the Hall. So you got the leadership. I think those guys are going to keep the camaraderie intact, but I do wonder what the hell is going on, because at a certain point, Steve Kerr, and I'm not one of these guys who's going to pick apart Steve Kerr and challenge him and just and like, you know,
no, definitely not.
This guy knows more basketball than everybody in our audience put together. So I'm not going to challenge Steve Kerr, but I do wonder, because Steve Kerr is paid to win basketball games, like, what is the basketball logic behind this decision?
I don't know.
And I'm going back to your original question, Tony. My gut tells me I don't think we're going to see Kuminga tonight. I don't think we're going to see him.
Probably not. So we'll just see. We'll see what happens, but it is Butler's time to shine. And Moody, give me more than 4 points. And all those guys on the bench, use those fouls. Body up in the paint. Get aggressive. Send a message to John Morant. Send a message to these Grizzlies. Like, you know, don't come into the paint unless you're going to get punished. All right. So number 2 in TT3. Number 2 in TT3. And then we're going to get to Brian.
TT3. Shout out metal band TT Quick. Tony, go ahead. TT Quick. You guys know any TT Quick? Try that out sometime. I don't even know any TT Quick. I don't know any. I just remember the name of the band, TT Quick. Do you remember?
No, never heard of TT Quick. LA?
I'm not sure. It might be Jersey. I don't know. TT Quick, man. Yeah. Anyway, they were out there.
Were they a one and done? I don't know.
Somebody help me. John Joseph probably knows TT Quick. John Joseph, you with me on this, bro? Yeah. TT Quick. Rags knows him. Rags knows TT Quick. He's on it.
Of course he does. Number two. And then we have Brian Stapleton of Finnerty's coming on at the bottom of the hour. But number 2. We asked for Adamas to get involved offensively yesterday. We put the particles out there for Adamas. He goes 2 for 5, and he has a clutch bomb in the second inning. Big second inning for the Giants yesterday. That was huge. Fitzgerald goes deep. So it was just a nice surge of offense, especially against the Phillies. It was great to see. But dude, Doval is what I'm thinking about. Also, John Joseph, I saw his comment at the beginning of the show that it was a great move by Melvin to keep Landon Roop, there it is, in the game. So, because he had a shaky first inning, gave up 3 runs.
Yeah,
I do agree with that. I totally agree with it. It was a great move by Melvin. And then the bullpen, 4 great innings, right? Capped off by a clean Doval 2 strikeout inning. I want to know how you feel about Camilo moving forward, Paulie.
Well, we've had our share of stressful bullpen arms in the past. You remember when Brian Wilson was closing games, dude? Like, he always made you sweat. Like, he'd always walk somebody, or there'd be guys on base stealing second. Like, it seemed like B. Weezy was always working in traffic, but then ultimately getting the job done until his arm gave out. Shout out
B. Weezy, of course, but you said going to make you sweat. It reminded me of, is that CNC Music Factory? Is that the CNC Music Factory going to make you sweat? Right?
100%. And I've talked about my night out with CNC Music Factory in 1991. I hung with those guys. I talked to the girl. I forget her name, the singer in the band. Things that make you go, that girl, she was like, I don't remember her name, but I actually did. I talked to her backstage at one of their gigs one night. She was very sweet. True story.
That's
Yeah. So Tony, I forgot, where are we going? Now you got me thinking CNC Music Factory. What was your original?
No, it was about Doval because I feel I was of course very happy about the offensive output and about the clutch hitting and the timely hitting for the Giants, but I was very excited to see a clean Doval-esque inning with 2 strikeouts, no hits, no walks. It was a clean 9th inning. I was like, but part of me wonders if it was because there was no pressure, right?
It's a good question. Legit,
They had a big lead, so I'm just wondering how much confidence you have in Camilo if the game is on the line, they have a 1-run lead, and he needs to shut the door, and Walker's not available.
I'm confident.
Yes.
He's done it before. He's done this before, man. The year that the Giants played the Dodgers in the playoffs and lost that 5-game series, he was our closer at that point, and he was good. Like, he was really good back then. So I'm confident. I would run him out there. I'd say, Camilo, go get me 3 outs, man. Just cut the S and go get me 3 outs. He can do it. Like we said the other day, I think a lot of his struggling has been mental. That's my kind of guess at this whole thing. But I would definitely run him back out there, and I liked what I saw yesterday, too. I did.
Paulie, I got to give love to the PMP Army. Scotty B and Aaron Kask are having Scott B, SF, and Aaron Kask are having a back and forth about Patrick Bailey's framework. And I'm like, dude, I'm watching this as you're talking. I'm like, this is what I love to see. Those guys are on the money, dude. Bailey's framing, he's the best in the game. He's the best in the freaking game behind the plate. Defensively, I would put him above anybody, but also his framing. It's an art form, what he does. And like the kids I coach try to do that. I'm like, guys, cut it out. Just catch the ball. Don't try and be Patrick Bailey. He's a professional who's been doing it for a long time. If you are fortunate enough to make it to college baseball, then you can start doing what Patrick Bailey does, where he like rises he'll like have his glove on the ground.
Yeah.
His glove on the ground, which is totally unorthodox, Paul. Usually you want you want a target for the pitcher. He'll have his glove on the ground and rise it up as the pitch is coming, because he doesn't want a lot of hitters will take a peek back to see where the glove is located while the pitcher's in his delivery. Isn't that wild?
Yeah. Well, I love that. I do. No, I love Patrick Bailey. I love everything about this guy, man. So yeah, run Doval back out there, and let's wrap up your top 3 so we can get Brian on the show.
Number 3, and this is totally nothing to do with baseball, nothing to do with anything happening, nothing to do with the playing game, nothing to do with Finnerty. So actually, it might have something to do with Finnerty. I'm assuming they have dishwashers there. Paulie?
Yep.
Number 3 and top 3, it's a wild card. It doesn't have to be about sports all the time.
Sure.
I was thinking about this morning, and I've had multiple arguments with this because I was unloading my dishwasher this morning. And when you load silverware into your dishwasher,
yes,
do you load with the tip of the forks and the spoons down, or do you load them up?
Listen. Let me. Maybe you'll understand it if I do it this way. When loading the dishwasher, these are instructions for the entire PMP Army. Tony, you want to go prongs and blades down. Okay.
Agreed.
And the reason for that is so you're not slicing up your hand when you reach in to pull the stuff back out later. You want the sharp stuff facing down. Isn't that obvious? I mean, we learned that when we were 7 years old. Yeah.
You would think, Paulie, but most people I've spoken to have said, oh, no, you definitely load it up because they want to get the water and everything, more exposure to the suds and to the water swishing around. I go, no. And also, when you're taking it out of the dishwasher, you're grabbing it with your hands. So you're telling me I'm going to grab the prongs of the fork with my hands, and who knows how my hands aren't going to be crystal clean.
No. I'm going to do something right now. I'm going to try to help out the entire community with in one fell swoop here. I'm going to say every time you're loading your dishwasher, sharp objects, blades, forks, stuff like that, you want to go face down with that stuff. And then you want to think about Alice in Chains. You want to, as you're putting them in, you're going to go down in a hole, down in a hole, down in a hole, down in a hole. You just down in a hole. Play the song while you're loading the dishwasher. You can be like a whole celebration. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's my advice to everybody.
Rags and Winks are on fire, and then we're going to get to Brian, Paulie, because he just popped up in the waiting room. Jeff Winkler says, or when you're drunk and fall, you don't want to get jabbed. You don't want to be jabbed by the prongs up. And then Rags, I'm in your world. He says, my wife puts them up, I put them down. It's an ongoing battle. Rags, I'm in the same boat as you, dude, and it bums me out, man.
I can't believe and that's Rags' beautiful wife, Tracy. I can't imagine. Why would Tracy go blades up? I don't get that. I'm going to have a word with her. I'll talk to Tracy on the side and straighten her out because Tracy knows better. She's a great Italian Jersey girl. She's got to go blades down, Rags. I'm with you on this 1,000,000%. I bet you at Finnerty's, when they're serving up the burgers and the wings and stuff like that, When they're
We should
loading
have
the dishes in the back, they're going blades down. I promise you, it's a professional operation. Is Brian in the waiting room?
Yeah. Let's get Brian involved. I'll bring him up to the stage right now. Hang on, Paulie. Here comes Brian. There he is.
Yeah, look at you're
Nice.
absolutely. I freaking love this, dude. I love this so much.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
Great opening for you guys, so we get the podcast in.
hell yeah. So everybody, I want everybody to meet Brian Stapleton. This is one of the owners of Finnerty's in New York City. His other partner, Dieter, is not going to join us today, but he's a great guy. Both of these guys are great dudes. And Brian, Tony, tell Brian how he can see the community kind of, because we're not taking calls on this show, Brian, but we do have a community, a lineup of listeners under the comment section. So how can he see all the activity, Tony? Help him out.
Paulie, I think it's more of what you see. I think he's seeing the same thing as you see. I see something different than the both of you see. So,
okay.
Yeah,
Well, just to let you know, Brian, we got a bunch of listeners lined up right now. They're all very excited. Look at this. Don Peralta, Finnerty rules. It's funny that the Bay Area knows so much about your spot. And let's just catch up a little bit, Brian. So you guys, you shut the doors a few years back. Like, take us from that point to the reopening today.
Yeah, so the timing was not all the best. It was St. Patrick's Day weekend, so we had a basement full of beer. We were ready to go, and us, like everybody else in the country, in New York, closed down. I think a little bit earlier than a lot of other places, but at the beginning of St. Patrick's Day weekend, we just, one day they were like, "Oh, we're going to close," and at the time, people were like, "Well, it'll be 24 hours, or it'll be," and then, as we all know, years later. We had no outside dining, and we didn't do delivery, so we didn't have any options to generate any revenue. Damn. So the landlord, a California landlord, actually, he just kept piling on the debt, and we just told him we're going to surrender the space. There was some challenges with the neighborhood as well too, so there was a lot of contributing factors, but we just decided that we were going to move on from the space, but we really couldn't stay there, and since then. It's been I think about 5 years, and Dieter looked at 60, 70 different spaces while we were building another spot. And we found what we believe to be a perfect home here in Midtown. We're directly across the street from the Empire State Building between 56th and 33rd Street. Okay. And, Midtown is a whole different animal than some of the neighborhoods that we were in before, but we're learning. There's a lot more parking tickets and a lot more fun.
Well, Brian, let me just say this, man. First of all, I want to say congratulations on the reopening, dude. We're all so happy for you. And I guarantee you, next time I'm in New York, I will definitely stop by. And Tony, in the past, I've been to Finnerty's with Murph. I've been to Finnerty's with Kate Scott. And these guys, I mean, they take care of you like family. They set us up in the back. We were watching a Warrior game that started at 10:30 p.m. East Coast time, and we rode that bad boy out all night. And Brian, you and I hung out all night. We had a great time. Yeah. So thanks for all that hospitality. Yeah, and let's talk about like the new location. Now, it looks like the new interior is like it feels and looks a little bit different from the old spot, right? You got like a new design inside.
Dieter did a lot of the design here. He's pretty talented with this stuff. This is our, so we renovated Finnerty's a couple of times, and we opened another spot or two, and Dieter's kind of taking the lead on the design aspect of it. You can see it's behind me here. It was a complete gut job, and we put a lot of time and effort into it. And as luck would have it, I think we were about 3 weeks away from opening, and Con Edison came in and took the meter out, the gas meter.
Okay.
What? Three weeks before opening, because the previous tenant didn't pay the bill, and he had a $90,000 gas bill with Con Edison.
Jesus. Yeah.
So that was a year ago this month. So we had to open up. We opened up a little half baked. We just opened the bar, not the kitchen, but we got the meter in last week. We're very excited. We should have food going in about 10 days, I think. So.
Awesome. Hey, Tony, do me a favor. Bring up Sons of Johnny Lee. He's a super. I want Brian to see this. Yeah. I
also want to see this first, too. There's two supers here. Brian, if you look at your screen, you can see one of our viewers, Don Peralta, says, congrats on the relaunch, Brian. Did a 2012 bus game with Finnerty's. Best time ever. Kruk and Kipe will be stoked, too. Bay Area loves Finnerty's. And then we have another viewer who says, Sons of Johnny LeMaster says, booked a flight to NYC for Giants Mets Finnerty's game bus on Saturday, Sunday. So the Bay Area is coming out, man. They're coming out.
We're talking about jumping in on this too, Brian. If we can,
I would love to. I was just going to say, man, I'll save you guys a seat and I'll line it all up for you. You just got to get out here. It's a great time. It's a lot of work, obviously, and there's a lot to coordinate. But once you're on the bus and you're off for the first game, then it just seems like one long day for us. Because the days kind of run into each other. but everybody has a blast, and you know, it's at Citi Field, which is a little bit easier than the South Bronx or the Yankees.
That's a good question. What does it take to go? Because for people that don't know, for the Bay Area folks that have not really been in and around New York City, Finnerty's is in Manhattan. Like Brian said, it's right near Empire State Building. But then you want to bus out to Queens so to get to the Met Stadium. So how long? What is that? 40 minutes? How long does that take?
Well, it depends. There's a lot of like the coordination stuff. So if we leave for a night game Monday through Friday, we got to leave considerably earlier. You're gonna hit a ton of traffic getting out of Manhattan.
Right.
But yeah, weekends tend to be a little bit more forgiving, and so we can leave a little later. And if we get there early, we always have beers outside in the parking lot. Citi Field provides for bus parking, so you know, it's nice. We bring footballs and you know, guys always bring mitts and baseball and stuff. It's such a great time. We do it also for the Niners as well. We do a tailgate. We can't get a block of tickets together for that, but you know, we'll run buses out. And last time we did it just before COVID, we did all the cooking ourselves, and we did all the food on the bottom of the bus. It's a great time. Great time. So we'll look into doing that again as well. But like I said, you can't get a block of tickets together for a football game. It's just
right. Well, hey, Brian, anytime you want to get the word out about anything at Finnerty's, let us know, and we will absolutely spread the word out here. And also, I want to know, Brian, just for those that you know don't know the origination, this story, the genesis of Finnerty's, like what was who was it you that just said we need to have a San Francisco themed bar in New York, or was it a group of people, or how did you come to that?
You know, it's funny. The longer you're on Earth, the more you realize it's just a series of contributing factors. Dieter was a Niner fan. We opened the bar. It was a huge financial commitment for us, and we couldn't really take many chances, you know. So we did high definition TV, which, believe it or not, was new at that time. And we had a small group of Niner guys. Shout out to Joey, and they used to go to a bar up on 3rd Avenue that was closing at the same time we were opening. And Annie was a bartender for us. She worked up there, and she put us in contact with just a small group of like 10 guys or 15, 20 guys, you know, depending on what game it was. And then in the first World Series come around, but with that amazing run at the end of the regular season with the Giants, we're like, wow, this may actually translate from one sport to the other. And then that last series, we saw like 100 people show up. And then the first series in the playoffs, there were like 200 people showed up in that.
Yeah. And now how do you think you'll do tonight? Like when how about the Warriors? Do you get a good crowd for because Warriors have a playing game tonight. Their whole season is on the line. Like, will you bring in people to watch Dubs games too?
Oh, there's no question. Yeah. Dubs, it really depends on who's winning at the time. I always say, if you look at the years that Finnerty's was in operation and you look at the success of the Bay Area teams.
Yeah.
You know, you almost have to look at it and say, like, how the hell, like, did all these teams do so successfully? Right from the time that we open our doors, and then obviously from the time we close our doors, limited success. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So hopefully we're coming back. We'll bring some of that luck back, hopefully. But yeah, the Warriors show up en masse. I mean, and it's great. The nice thing about the baseball and the basketball runs too is that you get a whole season in like 6 weeks or 2 months. You know, during the playoff run where the Niners, you know, you get 16 epic days, right? But you'll get 16 to 20 epic days in a playoff run, you know. So that's the nice thing about the 7-game series and all that, you know, with the baseball and that.
Hey, Brian, what about all the local folks, right? All the real like New Yorkers that are hanging out and then they're coming into Finnerty's and they're getting to know your spot. And they might think they're walking into like a New York Giants bar or like a Jets bar or Rangers bar. And all of a sudden they look around and they're like, damn, there's a room full of 49er fans in here. I've like, you had that happen where guys walk in and be like, what the hell?
We've had people walk in, take a look around, turn around and walk out. Yeah. It happens all the time.
Really?
Like, wow. Yeah. LA, they won't drink in here, you know. So but yeah, it happens. It happens a lot, and then most people welcome it. They think it's cool as hell, and then especially once you tell them the backstory with Finnerty's. You know, the Giants bringing the trophy all 3 years, and the Niners did the Faithful program. They had that 30-minute program that they did. Years ago. They did a whole episode about Finnerty's.
That was awesome.
Rob Alberino is a good friend of ours, and he did a fantastic job. Right. You know, it's amazing what has happened with our experience with this bar. It's something that no bar owner could ever expect. You know, it's been epic, and to be able to bring it back has been it's been long. It's been a long, it's been like 18 months since we took possession of space. So I think it's a little longer than that now.
Wow.
So, now we weren't ready with the food. So we didn't want to reach out to anybody and get the word out because you're not ready, So now with the Giants being in town and getting the gas meter in the same week, we're like, we just got to try to push this now.
Nice. And how did you do like over the weekend with the Giants playing the Yankees and stuff? Did you have good crowds over the weekend?
It was great. We were able to go to the game on Sunday, which was
nice.
Coincidentally the only decent day that we had. But the weather could have been better. We have big openable doors here, and we were looking for spring here. It's supposed to be 68, 70 degrees. And
not yet.
I think it was 40 and rainy on Saturday. Rained all day and night.
Right.
But we made the most of it. I mean, it was so cool. The amount of people that have come back that we haven't seen in 5 years just for this series.
See?
A lot of them have moved away. Now they're out in the suburbs but they came back just to hang out with us during the weekend.
Go ahead, T.
Hey, Brian, have you actually heard, because John Miller especially, he will shout out Finnerty's when he sees the fans back, before the closing, he will shout out the Finnerty's fan section or the Finnerty, like people will get him, especially our friend Darren Chan, who works as the engineer for the radio broadcasts. He'll give him a lot of that info, and then he runs with it. Have you ever heard any of those clips of Miller talking about Finnerty during a game? Yeah, of
course. The first time we ever got mentioned was a crooked kite, and they hit during the game bus. They hit a home run right into the middle of our section, and I forget who hit it. And he just said, the call was right into Finnerty's, and we were like, what? I couldn't believe it. And I was like, for a bar to get an acknowledgement 3,000 miles away, it's incredible. I mean, it doesn't happen. And we did. We got the clip from over the weekend. It was really great, and obviously we appreciate the hell out of them. The Giants organization is, they take a lot of pride in our relationship. We do our best to represent them in the best way that we can, and it's a nice harmonious relationship, especially with obviously the Giants being from New York.
Yeah, no, the Giants are a very well-run organization. And I got to say, Tony is 1,000,000% right, Brian. Like the awareness here on the West Coast and the Bay Area about Finnerty's is crazy. You would be stunned at how many people know about your spot or have it circled like as a destination. Like, hey, I'm going to New York City. I got to hit Finnerty's. And now that you're back open again, I mean, it just makes a lot of people happy. Again, I just want to say congratulations, brother. I'm so happy your doors are opening again. And real quick, what is the and forgive me if you mentioned this earlier, but I know you were saying the kitchen is still coming up to speed. So what is it like if people want to come in tonight, watch the Warriors, grab a beer? Is the kitchen dishing out the food yet, or are you still working on that?
No, we have. We're here actually doing the last minute cleaning, and then we'll start ordering food probably later today.
Nice.
So we're probably realistically about a week away.
Okay. All right. Well, great. Dude,
let's put together, and we have staff, so we'll be getting going soon.
Go ahead, T. Yeah.
Hey, Brian, last question. Before you came on, we were talking about loading a dishwasher with your silverware down or up. Oh, you heard that? Okay, so I need to know from a professional's opinion.
I already told you that I was on the city fire department here for 19 years. And
nice,
it was a debated topic for the 19 years I was on the fire department. Guys, you saw it. The one thing I will tell you do tip up, though, someone's cutting themselves in.
Right.
There's no question.
Yeah, Brian, listen, Brian Stapleton's a New York City firefighter, man. He put those years in. He knows about safety. And by the way, dude, I got to ask you this, Brian, real quick. Did you ever watch that Dennis Leary show called Rescue Me about the New York City firefighters TV show? Did you ever see that?
It's one of those, you kind of make a point of not watching it,
Oh.
They're just going to dramatize stuff that's just going to frustrate the hell out of you now. But I do. Dennis Leary has done a lot for the New York City Fire Department. I don't mean to give him any grief about it, but I've seen it. I didn't really watch it.
Okay, fair. You know, it's so funny, dude. A lot of people say that about when shows kind of explore a certain occupation. Because we had a sports writer on the other day, Scott Osler, Tony, who covered the Lakers in the 1980s when they had Magic Johnson and Worthy and Kareem. And we asked him about the HBO series called Winning Time, which kind of like portrayed that era. And same reaction as you just gave us. He was like, "Oh, that show's it's so inaccurate. I don't like to watch it. It pissed me off." So it's, again, Tony, you see the theme here. Right, it's fun, man. Yeah.
I think that's why. What was the Hill Street Blues back in the day? My dad was a cop, and he would watch it because it was so accurate, so on point. But
Well,
I think the idea would rescue me. It was close. It was pretty close.
Okay,
But
man.
still,
And then
there's a lot
last
of
thing I want to pass this on to you, Brian, is a good buddy of ours, Chris Kelly works over at Saturday Night Live. He's part of the crew. And he texted me the other day. He popped in, he had a couple of beers after work one day, and he said the new place looks great. And I just want to say congratulations. Please give Dieter our best. And just know, Brian, when we come to town, and we're going to try to make this happen in August. I know a lot of our listeners are going to be there as it is, but Tony and I are trying to jump in on this too. And I'll keep you posted when we're in town, because I definitely want to hook up, give you a hug, have a beer. And like anytime you want to get some information out, just give me a ring and we'll take care of it for you, brother. So congrats on the
appreciate that. I think Dieter's coming out. Sorry to cut you off. I think Dieter's coming out in May for a wedding. Hey, tell Chris Kelly that Saturday Night Live has a famous after party. After the show.
Right.
And we're right here. So
hey, I'll put the bug in his ear. I'll put the bug in his ear.
And we have a speakeasy downstairs too. We're building too. So we'll have a second room. Yeah,
Brian, I was going to ask about you. I was going to ask. So I saw one of the pictures that had a stairway. So the speakeasy's down at the bottom of that stairway.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
It's not ready yet, but it was get the bar open and then we'll get the speakeasy open. So we're probably a couple of weeks away there. No more than a month though. We should be ready to go.
Rock and roll. Brian, congrats and continued success. We'll talk soon, brother.
I appreciate it, guys. And thank you so much for having me on. Tony, it's great to meet you.
Yeah.
I look forward to seeing you again.
Brian. Thank you.
Take care, Brian. Rock and roll, man. Guys. Brian Stapleton, everybody, one of the owners of Finnerty's. And Tony, if I may, let me just get back over to my fancy soundboard. Give him some love. Yeah. You doubled up. Look at this. We got competing volumes going. Hey,
it's a big crowd. It's a big crowd, buddy. Big crowd's very excited about Brian's visit. By the way, did you see him take a sip of that beer? Like, just
it looked good. It looked rich and cold and nice. Yeah, no, Brian I love that guy, dude. I hung out with him literally all night one time when I was in New York City. We were up till like 3 a.m. In front of Finnerty's, just hanging out, talking. He's a great guy. And by the way, do you notice he mentioned he was a firefighter?
I was going to say, I didn't know if he wanted to mention it, but I think we should mention this about him.
I just want people to know the kind of human being that Brian Stapleton is. And you can get a sense of it right there. He's as genuine as it gets, hardworking guy, firefighter for 19 years in New York City. And let me tell you what, man, one of the conversations I had with Brian, I don't think he would mind me passing this along. I just want the audience to notice, Tony, he was a first responder on 9/11, and he was right there. I mean, and the stories he has are, you can imagine. I mean, you can imagine what he experienced, and he's still in one piece. God bless him. I just want people to know that's the kind of guy he is. First responder at 9/11, great guy who did a great service for a lot of people. And Tony, I just wanted to pass that along. That's all. What did you think? What was your vibe?
It's an important thing to mention. And when he mentioned 19 years on the fire, being a firefighter, that is 19 years that it probably felt like 40 years, the time that those guys put in, especially with 9/11. So, man, can't thank him enough for his service. And then to kind of be able to now, I don't know, in the second phase of his career, of his life, to be having this place to go hang and watch Giants and Niners and Warriors games, that is epic. So the next time I'm in New York, hopefully it's August 1st through the 3rd, Paulie, we need to talk about these dates, because I think we should get there. And I've never been.
On the calendar, August 1st through the 3rd. Well, now we've got extra particles on top. Do you know what August 1st is? Let me tell you. That's Jerry Garcia's birthday. You're talking about particles that are coming like fast and furious. I might have to book a flight today, for God's sake. So we're talking about Mets. We're talking about New York City. First of all, check. We're talking about Paulie Mack and Creative Tony running wild on the streets. Check. We're talking about pizza down on Bleecker Street. Neil, I'll send you photos. Check. And then we got Mets Giants ball. We're getting bust, Tony. So that means you can have as many glasses of beer as you desire. Yeah, you won't be behind the wheel. We'll be on the bus with all the other Finnerty's maniacs. And then we'll do the series. And I got Garcia's birthday. All happening in one combination. So I
meant to ask Brian if he had like a cot or like a sleeping quarters, because I don't know if I'd want to leave. Like, just go straight from the bar.
You're not going to want to leave. You know what's good about that location too, because they used to be farther downtown. They were down like a lot farther downtown. So now they're up in the 30s there by the Empire State Building, and that means we would bus up. I got to think that means we'd be taking the Midtown Tunnel right out to Queens. Midtown Tunnel, bam, you get over there. I think that's in the 40s somewhere. So Midtown Tunnel to Queens, we're all out there, dude. And you know what, Tony? I would be so like it would just be so much fun to be like with a group of Finnerty's guys out in the bleachers, just having a ball.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So anyway, thanks again to Brian Stapleton. I'm really happy Finnerty's is back open. And dude, last thing, I got to hit that freaking speakeasy down there. I want to see what's going on.
I was going to say, maybe speakeasies, they have like a code to get in. Maybe the code should be like Kruk and Kipe or like, I don't know, or Polymax Particles or,
check this out.
PMP Army or
I don't know if they're going to do this again, but at the old Finnerty's, Tony, they had one VIP. Listen to this. I'm not kidding. This was so cool. They had a VIP table that they put myself, Murph, Kate Scott, and I think Tanika was with us that night. I want to say Tanika, but might have been. But check this out. The VIP table, they have a keg underneath the table that you don't see, but the tap is in the center of the table. So when you're sitting, you don't even order beers. You just reach out and fill it yourself. Like it's built into the table. It was so much freaking fun.
I'm not surprised because Brian's a community guy. Like he seems like all about bringing the community together. And it's not. Is there anything more communal than a tap going through the center of a table and just being able to pass it around? It's like a hookah.
Insane. It was insane, but that's how they roll out over at Finnerty's. And again, congrats to him and Dieter. Hey, Mark Graves, throw him up as a super real quick. Here's a Finnerty's Field Trip $5 for the future live show. By the way, that's the other thing. Oh, dude, see, now the ideas are good. Bro, we would set this up in, why don't we just do a show at Finnerty's?
We could.
You feel what I'm saying? Like we just do a show right from Finnerty's before we get on the button. Now this thing's starting to get real. We only got a couple of months. We got to put this in place, Tony. Help me out, would you?
Fine, I'm done. And by the way, we have like Rags is our New York golf correspondent, and Mark Canizaro is like our New York football correspondent. I feel like
we would definitely be hanging out with Mark Canizaro too. That's a Garen F&T. He and nobody knows New York City like Mark Canizaro. He lives in New York City, and he has for decades. So yeah.
Do you think Brian and Mark have crossed paths? Like, I wonder if their paths have ever crossed, because Mark is all about a man about town. I wonder if he's ever been into Finnerty's. I bet you he has. I bet you he has.
Yeah. Mark Canizaro knows let me put it to you like this, Tony. Mark Canizaro is the Tony Ryan of New York City. You know what I'm saying? No, meaning that, no, it's a compliment to you, bro. I mean this sincerely. Like, Creative Tony knows San Francisco probably better than 99% of the population out here. He knows every street. He knows every effing alleyway. He's like, no, don't go over there. You want to go over here. Like, Tony's been my guiding light for years with and that's how Mark is in New York City. He knows every alleyway and nook and he's taken me to places I didn't even know existed. So great call. He's another. And then we got the Chris Kelly factor. New York City, dude, you never have enough time to get it all done, but we could get a lot done. We can get a lot done.
Would you say, Paulie, you never have enough time?
I just don't know if we're going to have enough time.
I don't know if we'll have enough time.
Tony, give it to me one more time. I'm talking about Canizaro, Chris Kelly, Finnerty's, Mets games, Garcia's birthday, not to mention the music clubs downtown in the village. Then we got to go to John's Pizza on Bleecker, Tony, but I just don't know if we're going to have enough time.
I don't know if we'll have enough time.
I don't know. I don't know if anybody likes it. Oh, by the way, dude, final thoughts. And we're getting in the home stretch of the show now. And thank all you guys with us. Tony, I want to say, I mean this. I think yesterday was my favorite show that we've done so far, and I got to tell you why. It wasn't about guests, and it wasn't about like topics or subject matter or how we deliver. Dude, it was all about the laughter. And for my money, when I have a show, when we do a show like that, where I almost peed in my pants. I was laughing so hard yesterday, dude. It's that disco bed you were playing, the Castro bed, I want to call it. Anyway, it was so much fun. I just want to say thank you, and thanks to the audience too.
You bet.
So much fun. Anytime you can laugh like that, that's like the goal, bro. I'm a big fan of laughter. I'm a fan of comedy. I'm a fan of having a good time. And when you brought that kind of laughter to the table, or you prompted it out of me, you pulled it out of me, dude. I just want to say, like, that's the kind of show. I don't know if anybody else even liked it. I don't know. I have no idea. But I had a great time yesterday. So thank you, Tony. Thank you.
Hey, Paulie.
Don't bullshit me.
There we go.
Hey, Sons of Johnny Lee, NYC hotel room booked. Bam.
Love it.
Couple blocks away from Finnerty. You're damn right. Way to go, Sons. Don't mess around.
Hey, Sons, I'm just going to plant this. Did he make these quad? Did he make the quad affinities? Did he make quad affinities?
I'm not sure, but I'm sure he can tell us on the comments line.
Right. Sons, did you say that before? But quad affinities pins are something that if they don't exist, they need to exist. And I think they already do. But Paulie, I wanted to say, like, what my point is I want to have Brian and Dieter be like our New York correspondents for any Bay Area sporting event that's happening in New York. We need to check in. We need to do just a check-in. It could be a 5-minute check-in every time. Be like, hey guys, what's the scene? Give us the scene, give us the vibe. Because I mean, I liked Brian's vibes. I'm gonna take Brian's vibes today about the play-in game today. He seemed like he had good vibes about a good Dubs crowd coming into Finnerty's.
Yeah.
And I think we need that energy based on the Kaminga, Guy Santos DMPs and all that jazz. So I don't know. I just figure I'll take the good vibes where I can get them.
Rags is already expressing concern about the week we come to town and how his wife Tracy's going to react to all of us running amok out there. Now, here's my question, Rags. Are you, because a lot of times what I do, Tony, is I'll go to Jersey, see all my boys in Jersey, and then I just get on the train and go to New York. It's like a 30-minute ride from where Rags is. And Rags, are you, I mean, I got to think I might have Creative Tony. We might be coming down to the basement. Just heads up on that. I'm just saying we might be rolling up to Jersey for a couple days too. And then we'll go. I mean, there's a lot we can do, Tony. I got people all over the place back there. So
I'll travel with my roll up hiking sleeping pad and sleep anywhere. You know what I mean?
I'm not making this up. When I go to Rags' house in Jersey, shout out Florham Park, New Jersey, home of the New York Jets. That's where they work out. That's their headquarters. Rags always blows up this big ass air mattress for me when I go back there. And you know what? I love it. I don't know what it is. I sleep so good on that air mattress. So Creative, but the basement's equipped with couches and TVs. It's nice. So we can
checked in. He said his son built a bar in the basement as well. So it sounds like it could be ready for us, Paulie. And also, hey, Rags, I'm going to hug your wife, Tracy, and then I'm going to tell her, cut it out with the silverware. Put him down. Put him facing down. I'm going to tell her that to her face.
Tony, you know what I'm going to say? I got to talk to Rags real quick. Hey, Rags, check this out. You know what I think is going to happen? I think Tony is going to be the secret weapon to neutralize Tracy's concerns. Like, because Tracy knows when we come rolling in, dude, there's going to be trouble. Like last time I was staying at Rags' house, we were up all night long. We had a bunch of dudes in the basement, and then we come storming up to the kitchen. You know, it's like 8:30 in the morning. Rags is making eggs and cooking bacon and stuff, and then Tracy rolls downstairs, and I'm already drinking a beer. Like it's 8:30 in the morning, and she's like, "Oh no, what is going on around here?" I'm like, Tracy, it's okay. It's all going to be okay. So I can charm Tracy a little bit, but I might need to bring in like the lefty out of the bullpen for extra charm on top of Tracy. Anyway, Rex, take care of that. Sanchi is a super. What's he saying? My rush. Oh, okay. Oh,
I know we forgot to put the robes on for Brian, Paulie. We forgot to put them on. I mean, it's never too late. If you want to go get yours, and then I'll go get mine because I still, Paulie, I have something I want to present to you. By way of Dom Peralta, because we were talking about Lucifer and the Lord of Darkness and Satan earlier in the show.
Time out with Lucifer. And I want to talk Lucifer, and we will. Let me. I think I'm going to robe up. Stand by. It's right there. Let me just grab it. Okay. Give me 5 seconds.
Robe up, and then I'm going to robe up. Okay. Sanchi, thank you for the super, dude. Yes, your Rush action figure has his robe, and I will get my kimono as soon as Paulie comes back. We meant to put them on before Brian came on. We kind of wanted to make it ceremonial with Brian, and then we completely spaced because we were so excited to have Brian on the show. But thanks for the reminder, Sanchi. And I got to be honest, I'm not as comfortable as I would be without my robe. So, Paulie, you take over for a moment, okay? P-Mac.
Okay, all right, sorry, buddy. I'm ready.
You're gonna take over for a second while I go get mine. Okay, stand by.
No problem. And Sanchi, thank you for the super contribution. We should start like a separate New York City trip fund. We're working on so much stuff right now behind the scenes, but we're slowly but surely trickling it into the show. For example, like these soundboards. But Sanchi, that Rush action figure guy you're talking about, that is exactly the kind of robe activity. And by the way, is anybody in the audience robed up today? I would hope so. And another question for all of y'all. Do kimonos count as a proper robe? Legitimate question. See, John Joseph saying no kimono here, but I have a few samurai swords. Okay, good enough for me, man. Shout out Kill Bill with Uma Thurman. Tony, in fact, that's kind of kimono-esque. The robe you're wearing, I was just saying, is kind of kimono-esque. Do we think, are kimonos technically...
Look at the sleeve on that thing.
Is that Megan's, dude? What is that thing?
No, this is mine. A friend of mine brought it back for me from Japan. So it is a full-on kimono, but it's a fancy one. It's like, I might wear this to like a fine Japanese dining experience excursion.
Okay, so real quick, John Joseph is robed up. Triple E says kimonos are definitely robes. Eric Triple E is also robed up. Thank you, guys. Pinocchio wants us to know that Jimmy Hoffa is probably in a New Jersey basement. Could be. Although I got to say, Pinocchio, if you ever watch The Irishman by Scorsese, they basically imply that that they burned him. They incinerated him at the. They liquefied him. They turned him into ash. So I don't know. He could be in a basement in New Jersey. There were rumors going around for a while that I'm not kidding. There were Jimmy Hoffa rumors. He was buried in the cement in one of the end zones at the old Giant Stadium. That's a rumor I heard for a long time.
Yeah, I
they
remember
poured
that.
him in the cement. I don't know if that's true. Nobody knows what happened to Jimmy Hoffa. But anyway, Pinocchio, I like where your head's at. All right, Tony. So you were talking about because we're going to have to wrap pretty soon. But you were talking about the Dark Prince. What did you want to say?
And I want to say also, David, the founding father of Roby Tuesday, checked in, and he said he's always robed up on a Tuesday. What's up, David? What's up? I forget. I think it's Humboldt Fats. It's his nickname, Humboldt Fats, but he's also goes by Off World 122112 is his handle as well.
He's our founding father. He's the guy that inspired Roby Tuesday. So, dude, thank you, Humboldt Fats. You're my guy. I love the pictures you sent. And by the way, anybody else who wants to contribute pictures, you go ahead and send them in, and we'll display them next week on Roby Tuesday. But, Tony, let's finish up with your point today. What did you want to say, man?
Yeah, and by the way, I'm glad that we had we finalized the feelings about the dishwasher, the silverware in the dishwasher. Put them down, everybody. Just put them down.
Face down. Prongs down, y'all. Down in a hole. Alice in Chains. That's all you got to remember. Down in a hole. Yes.
It's amazing to me how some people are like, what are you talking about? You always put them facing up. I go, what?
Well, you know what's going to happen when you're a kid, when you're like, hey, son, my 10-year-old son, go, which I don't have, by the way. I'm just like creating a scenario. Son, go enter the dishwasher. And then your kid slices his hand open. Now you're rushing over to the ER to get stitches. That's the last time. So why even go through that exercise at all? Face down, y'all. Face down. Go ahead, T.
And Brian is the official word on that. So like Brian of Finnerty's, when he says down, you go down. So, Paulie, we were talking about Lucifer and the marketing effect of Satan in the 80s. And we were talking about basically all of the ways Satan was marketed and the devil was marketed in the 80s.
They were force feeding us Satan, dude. They were force feeding us Satan throughout the entire decade. That's when I was in high school and stuff like, dude, Ronnie James Dio had an album called Holy Diver. The cover of the record is a priest with his collar on, chained up, like thrown into the ocean, and the devil is standing over him, whipping him with a chain.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Hey, Mom, I'm into this. You know what I mean? You come home with that record, you'd be like, yeah, this is what I'm listening to right now, dude.
I think I've talked about this before. I had the Diary of a Madman t-shirt. It was the album cover on a black t-shirt, and it scared the bejesus out of my parents. I still have the t-shirt. I'll have to rock it one day. It's pretty tight, but I'll rock it one day.
I would love to see that.
Also, dude, Ozzy Osbourne's Speak of the Devil was the name of his live record. So it's like, I mean, it was in our faces. And actually, I'm so glad it was. I enjoyed it, to be honest with you. Bring it back. How about a reprise? How about a Lucifer reprise, you know?
Okay. You know which album used to scare me, by the way? You said that, and that Ozzy one was kind of scary. He had the spells and his face was all cut up. The one that used to scare me is, and still kind of does, I don't like looking at this thing too long, the first cover of the first Black Sabbath album. Oh, it's like a witch standing in the woods or something. I don't know what's going on, but there's
like
something.
Castle. It's like a castle. Also,
there's something extremely creepy about that cover, and I don't like looking at it to this day. I'm a grown man, for Christ's sake. I don't like looking at that Black Sabbath cover. It's too creepy for me.
You don't have a poster like framed in your dining room?
I don't. I don't think the powers that be would dig that too much.
So, Paulie, check this out. In conversation with Dom yesterday, we were talking about like show stuff, and then he's poking around his computer, and he was sharing his screen with me, and I go, dude, what is that? And he goes, oh, yeah, that's my grandpa's like PCL baseball jersey. And I go, dude, does that say? Well, here, I'm just going to add it to the show. Okay. Look at this from Dom Peralta. His grandfather played on a PCL San Francisco team called the San Francisco Satans AC. Back in the day with the PCL, there were all kinds of PCL teams back in the day. That is the jersey, dude. Look at that thing.
First of all, great shout out, amazing footage you're throwing at me right now. Amazing stuff. So leave that up there for a second, because I'm starting to think maybe we should try to employ some of Satan's dark power today. With the help of the jersey. In fact, let me assume the identity. Let me hold on for a second, because maybe what we can do is bring Satan in here as we wrap up, and we'll call on Satan, and then we'll maybe put a spell. We'll cast some kind of dark satanic spell on Memphis I don't think the Giants need our help right now. The Giants are doing fine. They don't need. Yeah. Let me see what I can do here, T. Let me see what I can do here. Let me see if I got.
Stand by.
Is Satan available?
Dial up Lucifer.
Here's the situation. I'm Satan. This is Satan speaking. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm here on a mission of mercy. How's that sound?
That's amazing.
This is Satan speaking. I officially condemn to hell the entire Memphis traveling party. You're all doomed. This is a loss. Warriors are going to hand you a loss tonight.
This is messing me up too much. Hold on.
This sounds incredible. Can you just put a curse on John Morant's fake gun action, please?
Please stand by.
Let me tell you something, John Morant. Next time I see this air gun bullshit, I'm going to save you a seat at the head of the table. You got me? Down here with me and the Jimmy Page. I got a seat saved for him. I got a seat saved for Martin Scorsese, Travis Bickle. They're all coming.
All right, hold on, Tony. So, Satan has now placed
There's an official satanic spell on Memphis from this day forward.
Hey,
hold on, one other thing.
Yeah.
And final thought. Shout out Raymond Ritter and the Golden State Warriors, who will be victorious tonight in the play-in game.
All right, anyway, so I'm having fun with my new toys. How did that sound? That's the official satanic X. How did it sound?
It sounds great, and it sounds dark, and it sounds like we just cast a satanic spell on the Memphis Grizzlies. And if you want to spread particles, that's a perfect way to spread particles, because we're very, we're hippies, we're loving, we're free loving, we're all about good vibes here in the Bay. So if you want to bring Satan in to curse John Morant, I'm all for it, dude. So that's the first official. It's episode 68, by the way, of Polymax Particles. It's episode John Ayers, by the way.
Bro.
Episode John Ayers.
Gangster knowledge right there, Tony. See, Tony and I can play the Niner number game all damn day. 68. You're not going to find a lot of 68s, Tony. There's not a lot of them in Niner history that I can point to.
And speaking of, well, what's his name is 68 right now? Is it Colton McKivitz? Or is it, McKivitz is 68 right now. I think he's 68 right now. But sorry, he's no John Ayers. Sorry.
No, there's only one John Ayers, bro. Come on, man.
Yeah, come on. But also, speaking of the dark arts and the spiritual world, Dom and I are also trying to Snyder was 68 too, but Dom and I are trying to order one of those LeBron Barbies, and we're going to turn it into the PMP voodoo doll. Okay, so just the heads up on that as well. So
what's going to be the voodoo doll? Tell me.
The LeBron James Barbie that we brought to the show yesterday. So we're gonna try and
I like that. I like that shit. I really do. The LeBron James voodoo doll. Sign me up. Put some pins in his ass. It's just
I'm having a good time. So I'm getting like a little kid with a new toy. Sorry, Tony.
You got me. Stick some pins in his ass. That's great. Oh my goodness.
Pins in LeBron's ass. We're going to make sure the Lakers stay out of everybody's way.
Anyway, if you guys need me to place any satanic spells on anybody, I'm here. I'm here for that kind of service. Tony, I think we should probably segue into our final low Steve spot of the day. Send everybody home, or at least it's a lunch break. I've done all I can do. I got Satan involved. I'm putting spells on Memphis. I mean, I think I've done all I can do for this for today.
So Satan has just left the building. I'm proud to say thank you for the visit, Satan. But I do want to say we sent particles to Adamus yesterday, and he broke out. I want to send particles to Justin Verlander today, who's on the mound in Philly. Yeah, like he's had a tough go so far, dude. He's got a 6.92 ERA. He's 16 hits and 13 innings pitched, also 6 walks, but also 16 Ks. Crazy stat line for Verlander. But I want to send him some particles today, so I'm hoping Verlander can take the mound today and deal. And then Matt Chapman, can you give us? He was 1 for 5 yesterday. Chapman was. Give us a little more, Chappie. Come on, need a little more. And come on, get it going. Let's get the train moving. Let's get that train rolling, as Steven Tyler likes to say.
Okay, train kept it rolling. Well, Tony's been really good about this. Tony has been making these kind of in a really sneaky, under the radar kind of way. Tony been doing stuff like this. Like you shouted out Adames, bam, there's his first home run as a Giant. So, dude, whatever you say, Tony, I yield right now. You're steering the particles in a big way, and I feel you on Verlander, dude. I've always been a big Verlander fan for really his entire career. He's an old school guy. When he takes the rock, he wants to go out there and throw. He'd like to throw a complete game, and he used to do all the time. Maybe not all the time, but a lot more than most pitchers of this generation. So I think he's going to find it. I do. I'm confident he can find it. He started to find it his last start in San Francisco, and he even commented after the game. He goes, I know my line doesn't look great, but I felt really good. Like he actually said that after the game. He felt good for the first time. So I'm with you. Verlander and Chappie. Let's go in Philly. Let's get it done. Any other comments to you, or should I give you the Carlos stuff?
That's it. And then, hey, Satan, do your thing tonight with John Morant and the Grizzlies. Just do your thing. Lord of Darkness. Yeah, Lord of Darkness, do your thing. Okay? Do your thing, Lord of Darkness. Okay, that's all.
No problem. I got you covered. Warriors handle their business tonight. By the way, shout out Finnerty's in New York City.
Okay, Tony, let's talk Carlos Carlos De La Fuente at Flex Funding. Flex Funding. This is the place, and this is the man that can help you in your financial.
Man, he just is, Paul. I said, Los is the freaking man, dude. And also, Los, just by the way, he commented. It's a funny comment that Los just put on the board. He said, oh, let me find it. Stand by, Paulie. Where is it? He said, when I ask for a new document and they push back, I'm guessing that Satan voice will do the trick.
Let me tell you something right now. Last thing you want to do is roll up on Carlos. Anybody who rolls up on Carlos, you're rolling up on me. You understand? And you don't want me to pay you a visit.
All right, anyway, Tony, let's get back into Carlos. Flex Funding, everybody. Carlos, give him a call, 925-250-4894. Carlos at myflexnow.com. Ask Carlos about HELOC loans. The reason we put that on the screen all the time is because that is one of his specialties. He specializes in HELOC loans. We're talking about home equity lines of credit. Now, regardless of your situation in life, it's pretty safe to say there will be times when you need some advice with your money, or you need some guidance with your money, or you might just need a loan. And Carlos, being the stand-up guy that he is and having that 26 years of experience right here in the Bay Area, this is the kind of guy you're going to want to talk to because he cares about you. He cares about your family, and he cares about your business, and he cares about your standing in life. I mentioned the HELOC loans, the home equity lines of credit. There are no appraisal fees. There are no escrow fees, no title fees, fast closings in 8 days, as I like to say. And I'm just really happy to have Carlos as a partner because he is such a good guy. And you see him on the show all the time. He's always hanging out watching the show. And any questions you have, trust me on this. If you're uptight a little bit about like dealing with your money, and I am too, I know how it is. Believe me, I'm lost at sea when it comes to finance. And that's why guys like Carlos are out there to help us. So you can trust him. He's extremely easy to talk to. Rob Peralta as a super coming in today. Thank you, Rob. Great to see you, brother. But Tony, your thoughts on, I think that you could probably back everything I just said about Carlos, the 26 year of experience, San Francisco native, cares about the Bay, easy to talk to. Anything else you want to add on to that, T? Go, be my guest.
Well, on the bottom of we're using the ticker now. It's talking about the reverse mortgages. Yep. He's talked about the Alt A loans. He talks about the fix and flips, the debt service coverage ratio loans. And then he specializes in the HELOC loans, as you mentioned, Paulie. But also, it's like the out of the box thinking that I love about Carlos. And dude, you see it in the comments when he comments on the show. He's like, "Hey, shit, I'll wear a robe if it's going to help the conversation with my client." And like, he's open, out of the box thinking. If you have a mortgage situation, present it to Carlos and see what he can do for you. Like, that's the out of the box thinking. He gets creative in that respect. So I just want people to know that if you think you don't have an answer, I think Carlos can have an answer for you. So I would say give him a call, and it all goes back to the trust Lost. And I don't know. I just feel like he's genuine, he's real, and we trust him and we like him. And the proof's in the pudding. We talked about Runel Brooks Moon's mom. He helped her out. My friend Mel, he's helping out. Don Peralta, he's helping out. Yep. And then spread the word. Like, remember, pass the Dutchie. We talked about it at the beginning of the show. Pass the Dutchie. Pass the Carlos. Pass
the Flex Funding on the left-hand side. And I got to tell you this, too. This is important. I really want to say this, like, legitimately and seriously, that one of the things I don't appreciate in life when I'm dealing with any business, anybody, anywhere, anytime. Could be a food order, could be the bank, could be the car dealership. I don't like when people try to strong arm me into doing things like buying things I don't want or trying to lead me down a road I don't want to go in. Like if I go to a car dealership and I say, this is the car I want to buy, this is the one I like right here. And then the guy's like, yeah, but let me show you this other car that's like twice as good and twice as expensive. I'm like, no, I don't want to see that car. I want to see the car. I just told you I'm it. Like that's what's great about Carlos too. Tell him what you need and he'll focus all of his energy and attention on that issue. If it's a HELOC loan, boom, he's on that. If it's a reverse mortgage, boom, he's on that. If it's a loan, if it's a money loan, he's on that. But the point is he's not going to try to strong arm you into anything that you're not comfortable with. And that is a very valuable commodity unto itself. So, Carlos, thank you, brother. We do love you, and we do love everybody in the comments.
For anybody listening to the audio-only version, Carlos De La Fuente, 925-250-4894. Once again, 925-250-4894, or email carlos@myflexnow.com. carlos@myflexnow.com.
Thank you, BC. I would say it's time to bring in David Lee Roth. Let's dismiss this class. And by the way, go Dubs. Come on, you guys. Stop effing around. I need this one. I don't want to see Ja Morant running around with his air gun tonight. I want Steph, Butler, Dre. I want all these guys dropping the freaking hammer. Let's go to where we need to be. That's the postseason. Tony, give me some DLR on the way out today.
Stand by, Paulie. First, I need to recognize this right now. You mentioned it, but I want to put it onto the screen. Rob Peralta.
Yeah.
Two questions. Are you related to Dom,
right,
or Peralta, or are you related to the Peralta from Stacy Peralta from Powell Peralta? I've never asked Dom Peralta if he's actually related to Stacy.
I did. I asked him. I asked Dom that early on. There's no relation, but I got to tell you, you're selling Stacy Peralta short if you're just going Powell Peralta. Let's not forget about the Dogtown Z Boys. Let's not forget about the award-winning films he's made about Dogtown, and then. The other Stacy Peralta film I highly recommend is about the big wave surfing community. It's called Riding Giants. Incredible film. Incredible film. Shout out Greg Knoll, dude. I learned about this surfing legend named Greg Knoll. He was the first guy. I think he might have been one of the very first dudes to run out and try to surf what they call big waves, like the ones in Hawaii and stuff on the pipe. But Mavericks. He went out there, Greg Knoll, with his black and white striped trunks. I'm a fan. Anyway, Greg Knoll, Stacy Peralta, Riding Giants. That's your assignment. Go watch it when you have time to. Yes.
And thank you for the super, by the way, Rob. Really, very much appreciated. But also, I can share this tomorrow night. Maybe I'll share it. Our founding father of Roby Tuesday sent us a video. No, it was I'm sorry, it was NorCal Refrigeration and HVAC. They're both named David. I get them confused. He sent me a video of I think the tallest wave of date was ridden at Mavericks. The largest Mavericks wave was ridden at the end of March, and he sent me a video. So I'll try to get that loaded up for tomorrow night's show. Because it's incredible, the footage of this massive wall that this guy's going down. Anyways, you mentioned surfing.
Well, shout out all the great Pearl Jam songs about surfing, and shout out to the Red Hot Chili Peppers track called Big Wave. It's called that's Pearl Jam. The Chili Peppers one is called The Longest Wave. The Longest Wave, it's called. Nice. And also,
you mentioned Pearl Jam, and the song Amongst the Waves is some of Vedder's finest work. The song Amongst the Waves. But you mentioned Big Wave, that's good too. The song Oceans from the first album is incredible. So
I'm an Oceans head. I love Oceans, and I love that when we saw that Pearl Jam gig with JC, our guiding light over at the Bay Area Sports Collective. How about this? It was a Bay Area Sports Collective gathering for my 50th birthday. These guys, he did such a nice thing for me. They all flew me up to Seattle, and we saw Pearl Jam in Seattle. And I don't know if you remember this, Tony, but that gig in their hometown, which was a benefit for homelessness, by the way, those Pearl Jam guys always helping out the community. They opened the gig with Oceans. And I thought that was such a cool opener because it kind of eases you into the show.
Eases you in.
And also shout out to Jane's Addiction and their monstrous track called Ocean Size. Wish I was Ocean Size. That tune is ferocious, dude. Ferocious. All right, Tony, thank you, Bay Area Sports Collective, Tom Tolbert, John Lund. More names coming soon. You guys, you're going to see very, very soon. More names joining the roster at the Bay Area Sports Collective. But in the meantime, shout out Johnny Lund, shout out Tom Tolbert. Always check out what those guys are doing because they're doing quality shows every damn day. Creative Tony, I want to thank you, your Will Clark hat, your silky kimono, you're looking killer. Go Dubs. Thank you, everybody on the text line today. I love all you guys. Jamar, Dom, Panaki, John Joseph, Patrick Patton. Patrick Patton, I've asked you before, but no relation to Mike Patton, right? From Faith No More? Just checking. I'm just checking.
Ooh, I love that. I worked with Mike Patton's cousin back at the House of Bagels in Palo Alto. Shout out Tom Patton. I worked with Mike's cousin Tom back in the day. He's a photographer for Burton now. Burton Snowboards.
I gotta call Mike Patton to task right now because Mike Patton, you still owe Mike Borden and the rest of those guys a tour with Faith No More. Don't think I'm not keeping an eye on that shit. I know what's going on. All right, anyway, yeah. Tony, have a great afternoon.
Flopping fish on the piano at the end of
Epic, I think it was called, right? Yeah. Epic, because it don't matter anyway. Yeah. All right, Creative Tony, shout out Midlife Crisis too. That's another good one by Faith No More.
Yes.
Have a beautiful afternoon. Go Dubs, go Dubs, go Dubs, go Dubs, and go Giants in Philly. We'll see everybody tomorrow. Tony, it's a night flight tomorrow, 8 p.m. show.
8 p.m. show tomorrow night. And don't forget, at Polymax Particles on YouTube, please go there, subscribe, and like. Pass the word on, pass the Dutchie. Pass the Dutchie. And then audio versions, the audio-only versions are on Apple Podcasts and TuneIn and Spotify. Also, the playlist. We're going to update it every Friday, but the playlist again is what's the title of the playlist again, Paulie, on Spotify?
PMP 25 playlist. PMP 25 play. It's good. There's a lot of good songs on there now. We'll do it again. Tony, remind me this week on Thursday to give the assignment to the whole class too. I want to make sure everybody else can send in their contributions. I forgot to do that last week. So when we dish the musical assignment, we'll dish it on Thursday. I already have a good idea actually for this one. So
hopefully the Warriors win tonight, and maybe it's a Houston-based musical assignment because they're on their way to play Houston on Sunday. I don't know.
I got a stack of ZZ Top records right here. I got a whole stack of ZZ Top waiting to be unleashed. All right, here's the thing, Tony. Thank you, Brian Stapleton of Finnerty's. Congratulations on the reopening. Thank you, Dark Prince Satan, for stopping by and casting a spell on the Memphis Grizzlies. Blank them. Creative Tony, that's all I can do. Get me out of here.
I'm gonna dismiss the class, Paulie.
Class dismissed.
And just to remind everybody about our new bookmarks bed, just to give them another feel for it on the way out here.
I'm telling it. Come on. You feel this tea or is it just me? I don't know. Yeah, come on. Dig. Woo! See you tomorrow, y'all. Have a good day.